Okay, Aishwarya, just you can introduce myself. After that, you will show the slide one by one, and I will.
Fine, sir.
Okay, because I'm facing some
Okay.
problems. I do.
No issue, sir. Our team will share it. And meanwhile, let's start the session, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, first of all, good evening, everyone. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to our day 4 session of this 2-week faculty development program on effective research and research writing proposal strategies. I would like to welcome our Chief Technology Officer, Engineer Pulak Kumar, former Assistant Scientist at VECC, Department of Atomic Energy, and I also would like to welcome our research advisory member, Dr. Arunava Majumdar, and our event manager, Engineer Ponma Keshu. So in this last 3 days, we had a fantastic beginning with an structuring a research paper section by section, also a briefing about research methodology using latex, and today we are here in day 4, understanding the research methodology using data analysis and visualization technique. So, which is another and exciting topic, irrespective of whatever the domain. So, these are the techniques which are drastically, any journals are good reputed journals are looking for how nicely you are presenting your research paper. So, is the key to unlocking innovations and bridging theories with an practice and shaping the future for an precise and insightful research work. So, allow me to introduce and welcome our guest of today's session, Dr. Debasis Chakraborty, who is an esteemed speaker of today's session. So, Dr. Chakraborty, distinguished professor. He has an extensive experience in academic as well as industrial part over more than 23 years. And he also stands as a paragon of excellence in teaching, research, publication, and also an administrative role. He is holding a bachelor's in electronics and telecommunication engineering, master's in computer science and engineering, and also PhD in computer science engineering. So Dr. Chakraborty has cultivated a profound expertise in his field. Currently, he is also serving as a professor and head of the Department of Computer Science Engineering at a reputed engineering college, Asansol Engineering College. Dr. Chakraborty has an seamless aim of bridging the theoretical knowledge with a practical application and also enriching the academic experience of a student. His research contribution reflected in numerous publications in an esteemed journals and conferences. So we heartily welcome you, sir, Dr. Debasis Chakraborty, for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much, sir. So before beginning of this session, small instructions for our participants, the teachers, professors, and the research scholar. Make sure of that you write your name and affiliation in our YouTube chat box for the attendance and verification purposes. And make sure of that in this particular session, we are conducting an exam, so that will be link will be shared in between the session, and whatever is handling in this session, the same will be in your exam. So make sure of that. So without much delay, let's once again welcome our guest of today's session, Dr. Debasis Chakraborty. Please, sir, take over the session, sir.
Okay, okay, madam. Also, I thank Pulong Thala, which I see Dr. Aruna Majumdar and other participants and distinguished guests in this session. Myself, Dr. Debasis Chakraborty, and I'm going to present very small idea on research methodology using data analysis and data visualization. Just to in presentation mode. Okay, so I'm switching
Yeah.
my video
Okay, sir.
just to show in presentation mode. Oh,
Sure, sir. Yes, sir.
and this one shows in a brief myself, Dr. Devasis Chakraborty, and going to present this topic, which is already know. And just we should go to the next screen, next next slide. So today's agenda, I'm going to give an overview of research methodologies and data analysis that will be presented to you as the foundation of empirical research, data visualization, which is required for meaningful insights for exploration and investigations. And the last one, I shall present a paper which I have published in ISPRS Journal of Remote Sensing uh, Images. It is an LCVR paper. This paper was published in 2014, and its title is Running with Transductive SVM for Semi-supervised pixel classification of remote sensing imagery. It's a very nice. It was very nice work. If you need this paper, I can share with you. Now, Aishwarya, you move to the next slide. Next slide, overview of research methodology. Next slide, Aishwarya. Next slide.
Yes, sir.
So this is a small word, research, right? The research is a very, for me, it is a typical also for other people also. That is, actually, we conduct research when we face some problems in our real life problems. We investigate and find some solutions of the problem by exploring anyway in different domains like physics, chemistry, mathematics, engineering. So research, that is, it's a thorough investigation to aim at discovering some fantastic or new idea in any field of knowledge. So for performing research, what we need, that we must know about the first is the domain, then we must know about the theory part. It may be that you need some uh, mathematical concepts, um, and we see the what are the hypotheses, okay, and to prove the hypothesis we need to collection of data. And you know that data is in fact the huge knowledge is embedded in data. Okay, so exploring data, we can we can reach to a hypothesis, and also we can write the theory about that domain or about that subject. Okay, so data is very important in our life. You know, researchers very know that data is very very important because we explore data to find important things, new idea. Okay, and after performing analysis of data, what we do, that whether our findings matches with the hypothesis, that is, we confirm with the hypothesis, or if it is rejected, then it is needed to revision the theory. Okay, so this cycle goes on, and ultimately, that is, world is moving forwards. Now, Ushajay, you move to the next slide. We must know about the key components of research. That is, it may be descriptive that focuses on case studies, maybe case studies. It may be observational, maybe some surveys that gives the describe this description and validation of an area of study. If it is an experimental, then we must conduct some experiments. We we like to see some correlations and single subject, and that actually determines the causality among the variables under considerations. Okay, so also there is quantitative research area is also there, where we need to use the sampling methods. uh, we may need some commercial data like share market analysis, and there are some other examples are there. And in this case, we attain a greater understanding about any particular topic. Okay, it may be also qualitative research that actually focuses on groups, okay, observations, and we capture information outside the metrics of these of any used methods. Now, move to the next slide. What should you have? So research is a very small word, but there are so many things in research, because in my life I have when I entered in Jadavpur University under Dr. Ujjwal Maulik uh, for the purpose of obtaining PhD degree. Okay, so actually, in our life we have read so many books, we have obtained certificates in Madhyamik, higher secondary, BTech, MTech, like that. But in research, after working in uh, 2 years, just I have moved a bit. Okay, so actually, what I like to mean that the finding a very new idea is very challenging. Okay, so however, we need to do it because we have to advance our society, and our also our augment our knowledge. So these are the things. Okay, so what is research? We mean that we need to define what is the problem. What is the problem? Okay, and to solve the problem, is there any hypothesis or not? And that is, we must have an objective that this is the problem. I have to collect some data, some hardware and software, these things. Okay, so very much important is that the defining the what is your problem. Okay. Hmm. And for to solve the problem, what we need, এই দরজাটা বন্ধ করো, এখানে ই হচ্ছে, দরজাটা বন্ধ করো, দরজাটা। So for this purpose, we need to collect data for the purpose of evaluations. Okay, data, different kind of data, that is maybe hyperspectral data or remote sensing data. There are variety of data types. Okay, that the researchers actually select some data for his purpose, for his purpose to explore the data. Okay, and after exploring the data, what we do that we make some decisions to reach to conclusions. Okay, and after conclusion, we what we do that we test the conclusions and reach at a final hypothesis, whether it match with the hypothesis, or is there any gap between the exploration and the existing hypothesis. Now, Oshooja, move to the next slide. Hello. So motivation is very much important for research, actually, because it is seen that many students after master degree, they actually enter university for doing research and for in their domains. Okay, but ultimately what is found that after 1 2 years they left, they actually leave the university. Okay, so because motivation is very much important for doing research. Okay, so actually, so we see that there are only very few persons actually they are successful in research. Okay, so that is if we are motivated, right, to find any new idea for giving any solution of any real world problems. Okay, so that is these are the motivational points. That is, we need to discover new knowledge, or it may be that we need to validate some existing idea or informations. Okay. Hmm. To solve any specific problems or answer some critical questions. Okay, and also it may be that there are some existing models are there, and suppose a researcher has found some new idea that actually surpass the existing model, making model. So that is also there is scope to improve the decision making systems based on the data. Okay, and this actually augments the personal expertise, and also it contribute to the academic or professional community. Okay, 1 minute, please. And also, we must have a desire to get joy from research works. Okay, for doing any creative work like that. And if you are able to find the new idea, then that actually serves for the society. Also, you will get this respect from the society, from the government, from your students. If you can give some new idea, or if the findings have some commercial applications or social applications. Okay. And actually, it's true that after research, that maybe after that, your work may be patented. In that case, if it is approved by the government, then the findings may create employment to the youths. Okay, uh, we should move to the next slide. Oh, yeah. So basically, we do the two approaches of researches, like inductive and deductive. In case of inductive, it is a bottom-up approach. We start research beginning with some questions. To answer the questions, we need to collect some empirical data. Empirical data, we explore the data to generate any new hypothesis or theory. So this is a bottom-up approach, that is observation, pattern, tentative hypothesis, and then theory. While the deductive, in case of deductive research, okay, that actually here we begin with the theory-driven hypothesis, and based on the hypothesis, we use the data and analyze the data, whether the exploration or findings from the data actually match the hypothesis or not. Okay, now move to the next slide. Select your domain or subjects is very important. Okay, so suppose if a selection of domain is very important, because in which area we like to work, that actually is based on our perception, our experience, what we like to do in research area, based on our reading. Okay, so choosing the domain of research is extremely important for a researchers. Okay, so for that you need to read some books, journals from any other journal. Basically, I suggest to read journals from IEEE Transactions or Elsevier or Springer. Then researcher is he set the area where where in what area he likes to conduct research. So it's very important, and also sometimes we confuse that in which area we shall work. Okay, so that is the main important. So that to be selected judiciously. Now move to the next slide. So for performing a research design, uh, some points are very important, like planning. Planning is very important for suppose if you like to purchase a home or flat, so you need a plan. You need a plan that how much money is required, where you like to purchase your flat, in which area. So in case of research also, we need to find the resources, what types of informations we need. That is relevant to our research problem. Okay, which methodology we need to use for the research work, and also this is the most important is time and budget requirement. Okay, right. So being in my college, if you like to design rocket, this is not possible at all. Okay, so we have to set up what are the requirements of my that is this is my problem. I need such things. This I like to purchase some computers, printers, etc. Some softwares with that, and within that time I have to complete this work. Okay, so time and budget requirement is very important in research. Okay, so this is to be noted. Okay, so now move to the next slide, Oshorya. There are some attributes that are associated with the research. Okay, so research that will be very systematic. All steps should be interrelated one to another. Okay, we must agree with some logic, logic, and conclusions may be drawn based on the empirical evidences. Okay, move to the next slide, Valeria. Objective. So we must have some objective to conduct research works. Okay, so that is the what will be our novelty when we perform any research work. It must have some novelty. That is, it is different from others. It may be there are some existing methods are there, and my findings is better than the others. Okay, so that is the novelty of our work, that we have found a new concept on particular knowledge area. Okay, and that after that work, that work may be published in reputed journals like IEEE and Elsevier, like that. Okay, it should be reproducible, replicable. It is to be transmittable. Quality control is also important. That is, accurate measurement is necessary. Suppose if I need to collect data, that can be found by measuring some attributes of the data. Like if I like to, for example, very simple example is that if I like to separate male and female, then in that case if we consider the attributes or features for all male and female, height and weight, height and weight. So we have to measure the height and weight of each male and female accurately. Okay, in that case, In only in that case, these features is relevant to separate male and female. So accurate measurement is very important in research. Okay. So well-designed research or new finding obviously we will give you some respect from others, respect from them, and it may be that your findings have potential application in society. Okay. Now move to the next slide. Define your objectives. So I think the research work, although it is difficult, not difficult but challenging. So always we need to try to keep the things simple. Okay, and the variables, number of variables should be optimal. Okay, uh, more variables, using more variables will create difficulty in research. Okay, and what are the opportunities available in the market from any persons, from website and from other areas? So we need to use the available opportunities for doing research works, and also as a novice, when we enter the research domains, we need to discuss with our senior professors, senior colleagues, experienced researchers. They will give you the key ideas that how you will perform or how you will conduct your research in a particular domain. Okay. Now move to the next slide, Vaishwarya. Hello. So this is the first work, literature research. So without searching the literature or without reading the literature, if I do something in research area, in my area, in this say for machine learning, and if I see that particular method already available in the market, so your work will be useless. Okay, so we have to check. We have to check what are the ideas for a particular problem. Okay, and we have to find the gaps. What are the limitations of the work? So we have to identify the what are the limitations, and also think that these are the limitations. Whether you are able to give any solutions of this, or you can overcome the limitations of these problems. Okay, so that is very very important for research works. Okay, uh, then article writing also is important. uh, that I have told you, they were finding gaps, and if there are any obsolete measurement and results, you reject it. And also, we need to set up the objectives of the study. Okay, so whether is there any applications in the market, or whether it is beneficial to the society or not. So these are the key things that we need to consider during our research work. Now move to the next slide. So these are the steps. These are the steps in the research work. We need to choose a subject, then the literature survey, preparation of synopsis. Uh, for materials and methods, we need to collect the apparatus, materials, software, hardware, anything. Yeah. We have to set up the experimental requirements. Okay, conduct experiments, then execute the project, and after finishing it, you can write an article on that particular job that we have done. Okay, for the publication or to make it public. Okay. Now move to the next slide. So data. Now the how data actually involves. in research work. Okay, so for when we conduct any explorations using the data set, uh, maybe there are some errors. So in that case, we need to remove the errors from the data. Okay. For example, there is a word outlier. Outlier means the noise in the data. So after collecting the data, for example, suppose what is the outliers? It means that that is not within the group of the data. Okay. For example, if suppose I am teaching in my class, so my age is around 56, 57, and the students who are sitting in front of me, they are within the age of 21 to 25. So, with respect to age, I am out. If I am the data also, if I construct a data set among all the people within the classroom, so I am also a data. Other student also a data. Then in that case, I shall be the outlier with respect to age. Okay. So error should be removed as best as possible. To minimize we need to minimize the error in the data set that we discuss later. Okay. Hypothesis testing and verification, and next is results. What results we have obtained? Results may be given in tabular form or any pie chart or any other form, or using an image also. The discussion is very important that what you have found after performing the research works. Okay. Then generalization is very important. Okay, that is the your findings. It is the general to public, general to this general concept. Okay, and then lastly the preparation of the project reports and ultimately writing the thesis. Okay, now move to the next slide. This is the research process is depicted in this picture. So it's very important, the research cycle. Uh, First is questions, observations, and knowledge. Next, we need to develop the research topic. After that, we need to develop the research questions. Next, we need to choose a study design. Next, the data collection, then data analysis, because without data analysis we cannot move a step. And after this data analysis, you can draw conclusion based on the result obtained from the data. Okay. Then what informations we have gathered, and this cycle actually repeats. Okay. So in a nutshell, is the in general is a process in research. Now move to the next slide. It is expected that many of the participants we have already aware of this thing, that is how to write a research article. Okay, so actually in any research article there must be five to six sections. So the first, introductions, materials and methods, results and discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, references. Okay, abstract will be there, authors also. We have to select a suitable titles of the work that is done. Next, we have to find out the journal, in which journal we like to publish our works. So there is journal finder also. Suppose you have worked in, say, agricultural domain or in the bioinformatics domain. So other domains are there. So in IEEE, there is a journal finder available in both in case of IEEE and LCBR journal find that actually. Okay, so how much your work matches with a particular journal, that is also showed when you search the journal after uploading either keywords. You can upload your keywords, or you can upload your uh, abstracts or the whole article. Okay, so in my case, I actually upload whole articles. Then we find this journal to submit, to communicate our works for that to that particular journal. Okay, so I think you know all about this. Now move to the next slide. Acha. So before submitting the manuscript, okay, it is manuscript before publish. After publishing the manuscript, it will be a article or paper. Okay, so I think it is ethical that the all authors should more or less involved in that work. Okay, before publish, you need to check the similarity index. Actually, in LCVR or IEEE journal, the similarity index should be less than 15. Okay, and we must follow the ethics during our research works. Okay. Now move to the next slide. Now the next is the data-driven decision making. Okay, in research. Okay, so first what we need, that is we first define our objectives. After defining the objective, our next work will be the collection of data, a collection of relevant data, not all data. Suppose if I like to work in remote sensing domain, but I have collected data from cancer domain, cancer data, or any other data. Okay, so our proper data to be selected for particular domain. Okay, so that is also available mm, in different repository. Okay, then after collecting the data, there are some processes or methods that is called the data pre-processing. Okay, this is very much important. Uh, that actually falls within the, that is organize and explore data, then perform. Also, this is also called the data mining. Okay, after that, mining the data, that is removing the noise from the data. Data scaling is there, and data scaling. So these are it may be there are some missing values in data, that is to be also considered. Then perform analysis. Okay. Perform analysis. And after analysis, you will get something to draw your conclusions. Then then your work you may publish in a good journal after implementing it. Okay, now move to the next slide. The next addendum is the data analysis uh, for empirical research. Move to the next slide. Actually, we face different types of data. In my case, I have seen the categorical data, numeric data, text data. The participant also know about this. Image data, spherical data, audio, video data, and so on. There are so many kinds of data available. Okay. Now move to the next slide. A sample data is shown here. Is Irish data set. I think you know about this data set. The data set, from the data set, you must know some properties of the data, like how many samples are there, how many features. You see, here I have shown only 19 samples. Actually, this data set has 150 samples. 150 samples, and this data set has four features. These are the features. Feature sepal length in centimeter, sepal width in centimeter. the four features are there. How many classes are there? Here only one class is shown here, but actually there are three classes. 150 in this data set there is no missing values. Okay, the sample data set for depiction I have shown it. Now move to the next slide. To analyze the data, we must have some knowledge about probability and statistics like mean, median, and standard deviation. Uh, some knowledge of linear algebra. Okay, so mean is in fact is very important common measure of the location of the set of data points. Okay, and very important thing is that the mean is very sensitive to the outliers or noise. That is, the important samples actually that lies on both sides of the mean values. Okay, and outliers actually far away from the mean values. So I think the uh, participants know about this. Okay, so these are the mathematical formula for ungrouped data. How to find the mean from a set of data and also mean from the group data. Now, where the symbol stands for x bar is the mean, f is the frequency in each class, x is the midpoint of each class, that is x bar, midpoint of each class, that is the mean value, and n is the total number of scores. Now move to the next slide. Range of the data is very important. That is, what is the max value and mean value, and another two important parameter that is we often use for our data analysis, data exploration is variance and standard deviations. Okay, I know that most of you are aware of these two important mathematical parameters: standard deviations and mean values. Variance and standard deviations. Okay. Now move to the next slide. This is the graphical presentation of the data variability. What does it mean? You see that the mean value here, okay, and all the data points are lies on both sides of the mean values. Okay, so you see that sigma is the standard deviation. This is the line x bar plus mu and x bar minus mu. X bar is the mean value, and you know that the 98% of the total data set that actually lies between x bar plus minus sigma, that is from this range. Okay, this range. And if you consider x bar plus 2 sigma and x bar minus 2 sigma, then we'll see that the 95% of the data samples lies between this range. Okay. And if the data set is here in this position, that will be the outlier with respect to the mean value. If data is here at this position or at this position, it will be the error or noise or outliers because it is far away from the mean value. Now move to the next slide. So here I have explained it. Okay, most of the data falls within one standard deviation of the mean value. And here it is shown that 68% of the data fall within the one standard deviation of the mean value. 95% of the data that falls within the two sigma, two standard deviations. And if we consider three standard deviation, that is x plus minus 3 sigma, then 99%, 99.7% data will fall uh, within that range. Okay. So I'll move to the next slide. Hello. Move to the next slide then. Now, data, we like to see the data, visualize the data. Okay, because without seeing the data, what is there, so in that case, it is not possible to explore the data, some data samples very faithfully. Okay, so before, in my case, when I start my working, I first visualize the data by using different methods. Okay, now move to the next slide. Move to the next slide. Yes. So you know that the visual of the data, actually we like to see the data. Either it may be in tabular format so that we can know the important properties or characteristics of the data, and also we can find some relationship like correlation of the data. And so data visualization is most powerful for data exploration. Okay, as human being, we are well developed uh, to analyze the amount of information that is presented visually. What I like to mean, that as an agent, like in artificial intelligence, with our eyes, mainly with our eyes, we can visualize the environment. That is, we perceive the environment, we take then that data actually is analyzed within our brain, and after that we can take the decisions. Okay, so we are the actually the human machines. We have the greatest ability to analyze data after seeing visually the environment. That is, perceiving the environment, we can take any decision. We can analyze the data, huge amount of data. Okay, so I think that this capability is uh, very excellent, and I think the computer is not able to compute such huge amount of data like human being. Okay, and that is the why do we need to visualize the data? Because we can detect the what is the pattern of the data, and what are the trends. Okay, and what are the outliers available in the data, what are the unseen patterns. Okay, so visualization is very much important. Just move to the next slide. Next slide. Uh, so for data visualization, what we actually use, not all cases, but because in my experience, I have used scatter plot of the data. Sometimes we use pie chart, bar chart. Hmm. For time series data, area chart, okay, graph, line chart. So there are Venn diagram, heat maps. These types of uh, data visualization technique we usually use. Not all the methods that we need to use, but for particular research work, we may to we may like to have scatter plot of the data, or maybe we can use the pie chart like that. Okay, so there are so many methods are there. Some samples are shown here uh, for perceptions. Now move to the next slide. So what are the practices in data visualization? It should be clear, it should be simple, appropriate chart to be chosen, so that so the reader or the other people don't get confused after seeing the after visualizing the color. We can use the labels, titles, legends to understand the data. Okay, without any ambiguity. Okay, So data visualization, these are the things that we can use: simplicity, clarity, color image, labels, legends, and all these things. Okay, whatever we like. Now move to the next slide. So how do we visualize the data? The tools are available. You know, the matplotlib, plot, plotfly, and other Power BI, also MATLAB that you can that you can use. You can use the Excel for the visualization of data. I think so many of you have used these tools to visualize the data. Now move to the next slide. I think you know about the statistical test, right? Is very much important to for decision making. Okay, so there are many types of statistical tests like student T test is there, Wilcoxon sign rank test is there, chi-square test is there. I'm not going into the details because these are available in the literature. Okay, and uh, analysis of variance, student t-test, student one-tail pair t-test is there, two-tail pair t-test is there. Statistical test actually that is the our result is confident. Okay, not visually. Okay, that I cannot say that this value is better than the other. Suppose you have got accuracy using one algorithm, say 96%, and after using another algorithm, you have got the accuracy 98%. The difference is 2%. But you cannot say this that this algorithm is good because after statistical test, that actually gives you the confidence that the result is good, better than the other algorithm. Okay, so this is very important for data analysis. Okay, or to justify your results by using some statistical tests which are required for you. Or p values is also there. Okay, p value. Uh, okay, now move to the next slide. Now the last part actually my work that is published in not IEEE, it is ISPRS Journal of Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing. Its impact factor last year, its impact factor was 12, and it is reduced. It is maybe impact factor is 11 or something like that. Okay. The title of our work was Learning with Transductive SVM. SVM is support vector machines for a semi-supervised pixel classification of remote sensing imagery. Now move to the next slide. Materials and methods. Okay, we have used data set, image data set. Okay, so spot actually the name of the satellite systems, Probatier D observation D latere. Okay, actually this satellite snapped the image of Kolkata. Okay, image of Kolkata that will be shown shortly. Okay, so actually the when the data sheet first created, all samples actually are labeled. Okay, that is after taking the image, it is converted to pixels. Okay, or bands. Okay, so here number of unlabeled samples. Unlabeled samples means you know that for supervised learning we need label data. For unsupervised learning we need unlabeled data. Okay, so how many samples are there? It is 2,62,144 number of features or number of bands. Okay, so actually it snapped three features or three bands. It is green band, red band, and near infrared band. Okay, and now for the classification of these samples, it is actually the work based on remote sensing image. Okay, So number of label samples is 932. This 932 samples actually is taken from this huge number of samples, and their classes are determined by the human annotator. Okay, was actually there are some people who are expert that these are the pixel values, then what will be the class. Okay, so this 932 samples are obtained from this number of R level samples with the help of the human annotator. How many features or how many bands? Three. It will be similar to this. Okay, R level samples. Number of classes. The image has seven classes. Okay, seven land cover types. It is also given here. There is vegetation, because uh, in that image vegetation area was there. Pond water is there. Turbid water is there, like Ganga. It has snapped the river of Ganga, river of Ganga, river of Ganges. Okay, that is the turbid water. That is also called river Hooghly. Okay, barren land is there. There are concrete structures like bridges, like Howrah Bridge and other concrete structure. Human habitation is there. Roads are there. Okay, so as a whole, there are seven classes, and seven classes actually found by the human annotator. Okay, another image also taken. That is the image of Mumbai image. Okay, IRS means remote sensing satellite. Okay, in this case, the same number of samples. Okay, and in this case, there are four features or four bands. What are the bands? Blue, green, red, and near infrared. Okay, in this case, the number of samples is 198. Four bands, and there are six classes. Yes, you see. Land cover types. These are pond water, turbid water, green vegetations, barren land, habitation, and concrete buildings and roads, etc. Now move to the next slide. Move to the next slide. The algorithm used, conventional, it will be SBM. Okay, it is typos, SCM, not SCM, it is SBM. CS, conventional SBM, which is typos. Okay, low density separation approach, LDS. This algorithm is actually proposed by a computer scientist. Progressive TSBM, PTSBM. And next one is our proposed method. It is the successive filtering support vector machine. Now move to the next slide. Move to the next slide. This is the scatter plot of the data set, which we have already discussed. Okay, you see the first image shows the spot data. 932 samples are shown in this picture. Okay, by using the different pattern of the data. Okay, these are all pixels actually. Okay, as there are three bands, so we have plotted 3D image. Okay, and for iris data, although there are four bands, we have taken three bands because four bands cannot be shown in picture. So we have taken three bands and plotted the data scatter plot. In this case, we have used MATLAB to show the scatter plot of the data, and you see that is very important that the pixels are extremely overlapping and very difficult to classify, right? So in this case, to see the data pattern, we have used scatter plot, which I have shown in earlier slides. Okay, now move to the next slide. This is the proposed successive filtering SFTSBM, successive filtering TSBM. So it was our new idea. That is why it was published in Elsevier journal, very famous journal, ISPRS journal of photogrammetry and remote sensing. I can share the the paper with you also if you need. Okay. So I'm not going to discuss about the detail of the system, what I can say that there are, you see, SBM 0, SBM 1, SBM up to SBM n. Okay. So in this case, we have used the label data as well as the unlabeled data. We have first classified the unlabeled data, that is called pseudo label data, and from this pseudo label data we have selected some important pseudo label samples which we have added with the original training data. Okay, so number of training data is increased, and following this procedure we have created several SBMs. Okay, several SBMs, and then all the SBMs actually classify the actual data, and ultimately final classification we have done routing method. Okay, this is the a model in a nutshell. Okay, so I'm not going into the details. Okay, because time is very short, only 26 minutes are there. Now move to the next slide. So you see, also we have shown the data visually. Okay, visually, example. Only one. I have not shown in IRS data. Only have shown the image data. Okay, image data in green band, which is shown in grayscale. We can also shown in color band also. Okay, actually this is it has 3 bands. I have already told you the 3 bands. Only green band is taken, and it is converted to image. Okay, so here you see that the region is given here. Okay, so we need to see the image visually so that we can understand these are the areas covered here. Like you see the Beleghata canal is there. Robindra Setu means this cut sign. It is the Howrah Bridge. Okay, and you see this black line is the Hooghly River or Bhagirathi River. Okay, race course area, Garden Reach Lake, Khidirpur, all things are given. Okay, the whole spectrum has 3 bands: green, red, and infrared, near infrared band. Image size is 512 into 512. That is it. If you multiply this, it will be 2,62,144 unlabeled pixels. This figure actually illustrates the different parts of the image in the infrared band in grayscale. Okay. So you see this image. Now move to the next slide. So these are the results obtained with the label data only. Okay. So you see that the what is that? That is the overall accuracy and standard deviation on the reference test set averaged over 10 random realization of the training sets made up of 50, 60, and 75 training samples taken from the label spot and IRS dataset. Superscripts denote the confidence level. Okay, so in this case we have used the t-test, student t-test, confidence level, statistical test. Okay, for the difference in accuracy between the successive filtering TSBM and the corresponding algorithm. You see that what I'm discussing only one data. Spot data, name of the data is spot. Test set, total data set, the label data is 932. Okay, 932. 50% data we have set aside, that is 466. And from the remaining 466 samples, we have randomized 10 times and taken 50 samples first case. Okay, 50 samples. Then we use this training data to classify this test data. Okay, this is label samples. Okay, I have already told you, all are actually label. then we have found that in our case, for the successive filtering, one thing I have to discuss about the confidence level. You see that superscript, you see there are some values here 1, 6, 6. So actually it indicates 99.5%. 1 is 99.5%. That is confidence level 1. 2 is 99%. It means it's confidence level 2. Okay. So, for example, suppose you see that here. Oh, sorry. What happened? You see that for TSBM, its accuracy is 85.14 plus minus 2.95. When you compared with conventional SBM, its accuracy is 80.67 plus minus 3.22. And when you compare this, and confidence level is 1 for this case, okay, for our case, then the highest. That is the result is statistically confident that this SF TSBM is better than conventional ISBM. Okay, when you compare with the PTSBM, you see that the confidence level is 6 because you see the accuracy difference is almost similar, 85.14 and 85.63. Okay. So if you study the t-test, then you will understand what is the confidence level. So what our findings, what our conclusions, that the proposed SFT TSBM is better than the existing algorithms like progressive TSBM, LDS, low density separation approach, and a conventional SBM, which is used by many people. Okay. Now move to the next slide. Move to the next slide. The experiment results. You see that number of wins. One is if you compare between SFT SBM and LDS, so it is 4-2. What is 4-2? That is in 4 cases SFT SBM wins, and in 2 cases LDS wins, because there are six experiments. Okay. For ISBM, SFT wins in 6 cases, ISBM wins in 0. Okay. And you see the average value, average of all. So you see that the average in our case is 90.24, and it is more than the other accuracy values offered by the other algorithms. Okay. Now move to the next slide. One thing. No. The number of previous slide. Okay. Number of wins and number of significant wins. You see, number of wins for SFTM, TSBM and LDS is 4 and 2, but significant wins is 2-0. Why? Because visually SFT TSBM is wins 4 cases and LDS in 2 cases. But when we have used the student t-test, statistical test, in that case, significant wins, that is confidently SFT TSBM wins in 2 cases, LDS in 0 cases. Okay, that is the difference between the visual result and the statistical result. Okay, now move to the next slide. Okay, so here you see that it is the box plot. So one that is very important for investigation purpose. Okay, data exploration purpose. You see that, or many of you know the box plot. Here you see the number of training samples. Here is 50, 60, and 75, which is shown earlier. And box plot is the lowest value. You know the highest value. Actually, box plot has four part. 20. The last one is 25% quantile. Next 50% is 50% quantite, and this is 75% quantite, and this is 100% quantite. Now you see in our case, so this case for is, you see that we have used the three methods in our case. Now, sorry, you see the that when you conduct the exploration, we have got 10 accuracy values that actually plotted using block spot. So in case you see that if you use the number of training samples, then accuracy actually increases. That is the main thing. Okay. So it is given here variation of accuracy for the model sensitivity to the training set size on the reference test data obtained by the TSBM for label dataset spot. Okay. So box plot is very important for investigation purpose. Okay. Here in this case, we have used this. Now move to the next slide. So this is the image classification. You see that the four figures are there. Okay. Now you see that visually it is very difficult to separate which one is better, but you see that the first this picture is classified by SFTS by our post method, B given by LDS, C given by PTSBM, and last one is this result is given by conventional support vector machines. So visually it is very difficult which one is better, okay, because it seems all are same, okay. But how do I test that our method is good? So there are some metrics, okay, some metrics that actually gives that this method is good. Okay, now move to the next slide. Yeah, there are some to test the efficiency of the or performance of the algorithm. So there are some parameter or some is there. It is JM, this is XB, and this is I. Actually, I index, it is developed, it is invented by my guide, Dr. Ujjwal Maulik, and his wife, Dr. Sanghamitra Bandyopadhyay, and he proposed, they proposed this parameter, okay? And this paper is published in PAMI. You know, PAMI is IEEE transaction, pattern analysis, and machine intelligence. Its current impact factor is, I think it is more than 24. Okay. So what, in a nutshell, if value of JM and XB is less, okay, then value of JM and XB is less, then the method is good. If value of I is more, then that is higher value of I implies better result. Okay. So actually this metric actually measures the compactness, that is similar data are perfectly grouped, perfection of grouping. You know that for clustering, that the clustering is done based on the measure of some similarity and dissimilarity. Okay, so what I have told that the lower value of JM and XB implies better result, and higher value of I implies better result. Now you see that in our case SFTSBM, successive filtering TSBM, in our case JM and XB value are less compared to the other algorithms. And you see in case of I, the value of I is 46.37, which is more than the I values provided by the other algorithms. So we can claim that our method is better than the existing algorithms. Okay. Because why we have used this? Because we have classified the R-level samples, so we cannot use accuracy because we don't have the labels. Okay, that is why there are some metrics are there that actually justify the performance of the algorithms, that actually measures the compactness of clustering. How good your algorithm actually separates the samples. Okay, that is the measure which is given by JM, XB, and I. Now move to the next slide. Oh, thank you. This is my all about. I have provided very uh, small knowledge. Okay, so how do you feel about this? My work and other things here.
So first of all, your work is amazing. And first of all, when you said that that research paper has been published in more than 24 impact journal, it shows it add on the values of it. So that's how it give the weightage, sir.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Pardon? Pardon? Please repeat.
Yeah, so actually, as you have said that it has been published in more than 24 impact journal, so that itself adds on the value of it, sir.
Yes, yes. One thing is that actually I've started working from 2010. Okay, so after
Right.
that till date I have almost 20 publications. Out of 20 publication, 12 publication in SCI index journals like IEEE transactions and
Right.
LCBR journal and with high
Mm-hmm.
impact factor. Okay, so I think they who like to work in the research to conduct research, so they should be motivated. They should
True,
know
sir.
their limitations. They should know the limitation how they do their work and the steps how for research how they will follow the steps one by one. And for this, there are so many researchers, friends, teachers are there. They will help the researchers
Mm.
how to carry out the research works.
Right. So we have, so can you switch on your camera, please?
Camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
On the backside there's a tube light because I am
Hi,
at home.
yes, sir. No issue, sir. Just a second. And sir, we have some questions from the audience also. Is it okay to take up those questions, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, fine. So first question we have is that sir, how what's the best way to collect relevant data?
Okay, it's a very important questions because you know in India actually data actually depends quality and quality of the data and quantity of data that is actually not available in India. So in most of the cases actually we depend on data from America and European countries, right? So if you like to collect the cancer data from any hospital, you will not get it. Okay,
Right,
so
sir.
there are some faithful websites from where the faithful data is available, like Kaggle. In Kaggle, you will, data is available, and also I have some another set of data that is available in uh, uh, I think the UCI data repositories. Okay, UC
UCI data deposit.
repositories.
Okay.
And for cancer data, another that if they want, then I can give them the link of the data that the data is available. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
India in India only actually what we do, we we do research work, but we are ignorant about the data, how the data is collected, where it will be available, or the data that suppose have collected from any hospital and whether they'll be faithful or not. Okay, I think in India it's very difficult to collect data. Okay, in that case we rely on other sources.
Right. Sir, as you in relevant to this, I have one question. Many of us know Kaggle is one of the place where we can get a data. Then Government of India has its own open data hub. So, do you suggest that shall we take a data from it, to work on that particular field?
Actually, when a researcher works any under any researchers like from maybe
Hmm.
IIT professors, NIT professors, actually they have collected the data. Also from government data is available. Say data in the defense sector data is available, but they will not. It is not publicly available. Okay, so that is
Right,
confidential
sir.
data. In that case, difficulty to collect data.
Hmm. 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 Right. Sir, and the next question, how to adopt simple language of domain? I don't know. That's a question came up. How to adapt simple language of domain. So,
Pardon?
do you have any idea how to adapt simple language of domain?
Domain, right. Suppose the domain selection, for the domain selection, actually the student or researchers, actually uh, he knows about himself, that what is his knowledge, in which area he is interested, because motivation is the first word that
Right.
actually help him to perform research works. Okay,
Hmm.
under, and one thing
Hmm.
is that he must select the he must select the right guide. In that case, what happens actually, there is a clash between the guide and the researchers. Okay, so
True.
also it is very important to select the guide. After that they can step forward.
Right.
My
Okay.
guide was very much hand to mind, Dr. Ujjwal Maulik. They actually his family, Dr. Sanghamitra Bandhavadhyay, Dr. Ujjwal Maulik came to our house also. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think there should be a very good relation between the research guide, supervisor, and the student, and that actually will
Right,
help.
sir.
In that way, what happens in B college, I know that the guide does not like to face the researchers. That is the very much very bad thing.
Okay.
So that is very much important to select his guide.
Right, sir.
Otherwise,
Right.
other research work will fail.
Right, right. So, guide and with the interest of your domain, you must choose accordingly.
He
Right.
must choose
Uh,
because he knows his level, in what areas, in what, because you see that we have read so many books, so many theories, etc., etc., but the research field is very narrow, that is to be pinpointed where he likes to work.
right, sir. So, we have another question. How to find research gaps from multiple articles during literature survey?
Very good questions. Actually, when any student, if he reads some research papers, so for the first time it's very difficult to find out the gap. Right? But
Right, sir.
very difficult. In my case, also happened to me also. How do I perform the work? What is the gap, etc., etc. One thing is that the suppose for he needs to choose the emerging area. First, emerging area, like in agriculture domain in India, agriculture is very important because we have to produce foods, because our population is 140 crore. So this area is very important at present. So they can opt for agriculture area. I'm also at present I'm doing in that
Okay.
domain. Mm. And another thing is that uh, mm, bioinformatics is a good area. You can, if any student from biology or student from computer science, IT, they can choose the bioinformatics. Okay, and emerging area, now the blockchain technology, IoT is there. So these are the new things in emerging area. Always choose the emerging area if that student is motivated. Also, if the in that case uh, uh, for mechanical it's different thing, okay, but in computer science, that is he must have the good coding ability like Python,
Hmm.
R programming, like that.
Right. So, okay. So we have one more question. How many institutes forced to make research paper publication in Scopus Index Journal? Is UGC care publication are obsoleted?
UGC?
It's a really a critical question.
Hmm.
Why many institutions forced to make research paper publications in
Yes,
only in
yes,
Scopus Index?
yes,
So
yes.
whether the
In
UGC care publications are obsoleted or not?
No, no, actually, say UGC care journals, the college should accept it, no problem. But in my case, in Asansol Engineering College, they suggest publication in Scopus, Web of Science, and SCI, ESCI journals. Okay, but UGC care is okay, no problem, because there are so many good journals that is listed in UGC care, like pattern recognition, IEEE transactions are there. Now thing is that the scenario is changed. There are some other IEEE transactions. There are two options for publication. One is APC, another is a no APC. If
Yes.
you opt for the APC, then you have to pay around $3,000, $2,500. That is the practice of the gen. And also there are so many Copas journals. They actually demand uh, lakhs of rupees for as APC. That is the problem for the researchers. That is it possible to pay 2 lakh for publishing their paper? No, that is the practice. It
Yes.
was not there that at our time actually in my case I have published these papers without any APC. But now the good journal also asking for APC. That is the problem. It has become a
You're
business
right,
right
sir.
now.
Right. Okay. I hope that provides you the answer. And so we have one question. I think this question came up when you were explaining the strategy. You have used SVM in your work. Is your model generalized model? This is a question.
Obviously, generalized model because this model can be used in for the exploration of remote sensing data, hyperspectral data, and cancer data,
Hmm.
any other data that you can use. But before that, the data to be pre-processed before
Hmm.
applying our technique,
Okay.
and
So
they can
last
see
question. Yeah.
they can see my Google Scholar citations there. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Next question.
Yes, the next question, last question. How to find experimental result is correct? Uh, uh, experimental result is correct or not by own strategy.
No, no. Actually, for justifying the results,
Hmm.
we have some metrics. Okay, the
Right.
most important and that are used by the by many people is the accuracy and standard deviation. Okay, accuracy and standard.
Hmm.
If the accuracy is high, you have got it, but the standard
Hmm.
deviation is 20, then the result is not good. Okay,
Hmm.
other is there also, like p values is there, and accuracy standard deviation is there, pie plot is there, box plot is there. Okay, and visual interpretation of the that I have shown in my work, that is
Hmm.
visually classification of classification of remote sensing images in color images
Hmm.
that I have shown during. Okay, so there are so many ways to justify their results with the existing methods. Okay.
Right. I think that's all. We don't have any other questions, sir. I think you have wonderfully, with patience, you have clarified each and every question of that audience have asked.
I am a very small person in research. Just you see, there are so many great inventions in world. Like if I tell you that is the uh, invention of rabies vaccine by Louis Pasteur. What a great invention! Right.
Right,
And
right.
another is I think that is the वो डिजीज को क्या बोलता है जे जोनासी shock. Jonasi
Okay.
that invented that polio vaccine invented by
Ah,
Jonasi.
polio
What a
vaccine.
great, right? It's a great
Yes.
invention. Yeah. So
Right.
okay, we are nothing at all. But we try. What okay, we publish in India. Actually, you see that so many publications there in IEEE, LCBR. Actually, these publications have very little impact on society. Right? Any mathematical relationship, mathematical rules that we have learned, that is all invented by the professors of from either from America, USA, like and European countries. Okay, how many Nobel laureates are here from here? Okay, so actually, research is fundamental research is very tough. Like suppose E is equal to mc square, Einstein theory of relativity. Okay, okay.
Right, right. So thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words and for sparing time with InnovaWorld Research Center. So I hope our audience, our attendees, professors, research scholar have really taken away several things that especially you have highlighted that how this kind of different tools are going to help for to improve the quality of the paper.
Yes,
And you
that
have
is
also mentioned the tools like Tableau, Power BI,
MATLAB,
Excel, yeah,
MATLAB.
MATLAB, and we have done a polling, and there we could find that majority are comfortable in Excel. So Excel is another wonderful tool, but
No,
yes,
no. One
when we
thing.
use MATLAB,
No,
yeah,
for data analysis purpose,
yeah,
actually Excel they can use, but it is not sufficient. In that case, they need to use say Python language, R language, or Python or any language. Python they can use. So Python is very easy, no problem.
hmm.
Some
But
students
actually,
know.
the point is that, yeah, if they think, like, for an example, we have some audience, they are from sociology, they are from non-medical so non-engineering background. So for them, it is very hard to cope up with those programming and coding. So they feel, I think, comfortable when Excel is a very handmade thing, like
As
very
one
easy
thing,
to go.
I am giving an example.
Yeah,
Ramkrishna Mitro.
yeah,
Ramkrishna Mitro, whose background is biology.
yes,
You can see in Google Scholar. Actually,
yeah,
he completed his PhD from ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, under Dr. Sanghamitra Bandyopadhyay.
okay.
Okay, man can do everything. Okay, they can learn Python. Python is very easy language.
Yes, yes,
Actually,
it's easy.
if they practice Python in 6 months, so they will be master of Python. No problem.
True.
I taught Ramkrishna Mitra, and also he published such good papers. He's in foreign now, right now. Okay,
Right.
he has only biology background, biology BSc. After that, he admitted in Indian Statistical Institute in machine learning intelligence under Dr. Sanghamitra Bandyopadhyay. You know about it. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes. That's
what
right.
I think, I am not talking about that they would learn all the programming language. Only one language is sufficient. That is Python.
Right,
Bas,
sir.
that's all.
Right, sir. Right. And in fact, yesterday we had a session with latex, and there was a big controversy on that which one they were preferring, that was a latex or MS Word. Again, they have came up with, oh no, this
I am
MS Word
telling
is
about
the
it. I have one thing. I edited all my papers and theories in latex. I don't use the word, because the advantage is what I am telling you, that suppose there are say five equations. Equation one, equation two, equation three, equation five. Okay. In latex, suppose if we like to remove equation two, okay, so after compilation, equation 3 will be automatically 2. For reference, suppose there are 30 references. Suppose you like to remove reference number 10. You like to, okay. So reference number 10 will be removed, and reference. Next reference, which is reference number 11, will be automatically 10. Okay, and
10.
also
Right.
equations are nicely adjusted. First time,
Yes.
if anyone practice latex for a month only, it is very easy for him to write papers in latex, not in Word. I don't use Word for writing papers because all journals have their own template. Like IEEE has several
Yes, sir.
template, LCBR has several template, and all the journals actually, major
Yeah.
journals have their own template. Okay, so I can give you
Right,
some
sir.
papers that is published in these journals if the participants want. I have all these papers. So better
Right, sir.
use latex, not
Yes,
because
yes.
if you use Word, then if I remove any reference, then you have to
Hmm.
manually adjust the references. Okay, reference numbers.
Hmm.
That is very much probability.
Right, sir.
Hmm.
And sir, I think we don't have any other further questions. And so thank you so much, sir. Again, thank you for your valuable time for bearing
Uh,
with us and
Thank
sharing a
you.
content, wonderful content with us. And in future, would like to collaborate with you.
Okay,
And we
thank you.
have some of our members, right?
Hmm.
So
Okay,
thank
thank
you
you so
so much,
much.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
participants.
Have a
Okay,
nice
they will
day.
go. Okay, have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So okay.
So I'll be sharing you that exam once it is over. I'll be sharing you that link, sir, with
And the
you.
one thing is that one thing is that yes, I have given a questions and answers
Yes, I
that
have
is given.
floated. I have floated, sir.
They will
I have
answer.
given.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I have shared that, sir.
okay. Thank you,
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
thank you.
So thank you, participants, and please do not forget to fill up the feedback form before you leave the session,
So
because that only will. Yeah.
I am
Yes,
leaving.
sir.
I am leaving. I am
Yes, sir.
leaving.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Good
much.
night, sir.
Good night.
Okay. So, dear participants, make sure of that before you leave the session. Do fill up the feedback form, and because that plays a very vital role to get your or achieve your certificate. So, tomorrow's session we have on the journal and how to apply on the journal, how you can avoid like rejections, how you can avoid rejections, how to prepare manuscript, what are the tactics and key roles that you can play as as an authors. So tomorrow's session is about that. So tomorrow we have the same timing, 6:30 p.m. So see you again tomorrow. If you have any doubt, please drop the message in our WhatsApp group. So see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much.